Hobbiton movie set car park la nikren. Idu exit. Idhula dhaan naan car kondu park pannittu wait pannikondirukken. Entry. Coffee shop. Hobbiton movie set la nikkiram. Hobbiton movie set la ipo poi Hobbiton அப்படி செட் இருந்ததுன்னு சொல்லி பார்க்க போகிறோம். காஃபி ஷாப் இருக்குது. இன்றைக்கு பாக்ஸிங் டேன்றதால எல்லாம் வடிவாக செட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். Hobbiton மூவி செட். Hobbiton மூவி செட்டில் இருக்கிற கார்கள் வேனுகள் எல்லாத்தையும் பாருங்க. எல்லாம் பச்சை கலர். Hobbiton மூவி சைடுக்கு வர்றாக்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுறதுக்காக இருக்குது. ஸ்மால் டூர், பிக் டூர். நாங்கள் போகிறது ஒரு பஸ்ஸில் அங்கே தூரத்தில் அந்த பஸ்ஸில் நிற்குது. இந்த வேனிலையும் டூர் செய்யலாம். நாங்கள் பார்க்குறது இப்போ இருக்கிறது இந்த பஸ். இது டூரிஸ்ட் பஸ். தூரத்தில் பச்சை கலரில் வர்றது தான் Hobbiton மூவி செட்டுன்னு பஸ். ஸோ அந்த பஸ்ஸில் தான் நாங்கள் டூர் போக போகிறோம். எங்கள்ட பஸ் வர்றதுக்காக வெயிட் பண்ணி கொண்டிருக்கோம். முதல் டூர் வந்து இறங்கியாச்சு. இந்த பஸ்ஸில் ஏறிட்டு Hobbitonக்கு போக போகிறோம். பஸ் கைட் வருவாருன்னு.
Are we excited to see Hobbiton? Yes, that's what I'd like to hear. Absolutely. So my name is Jacob. I'll be your tour guide as we go through the Hobbiton movie set. Our bus driver today is Rebecca. So everyone say hi to Rebecca for me.
Hi.
Perfect. All right, so on the TV screen here at the front of the bus, I will play a video for you. This will be an introduction from Sir Peter Jackson, the director, screenwriter and producer of the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies. And you'll hear from Russell Alexander, who is our boss Hobbit here. He's the chief executive officer of Hobbiton movie set tours. So sit back, relax and enjoy the video.
I'm very, very pleased that you're able to take the time to go to the series. It's great when you make a movie, you can also films of lives, but the sets and the costumes and the props that you make, they all just get thrown away and turned into each other. It doesn't go to be flying around in a helicopter.
Alexanders purchased this property in 1978, but it was in 1998, 25 years ago, that the Lord of the Rings location scouts first discovered this farm. They were flying around in a helicopter across all of New Zealand, searching for 158 filming locations, and the Alexander farm became one of those. They knocked on the front door of the Alexander family household, and Ian Alexander, the father of the family, he answered the door. Now he met with a man named David Comer. He was the head location scout, and he asked Ian if he could film Lord of the Rings on his farm, to which Ian's response was, "Lord of the what?" He'd never heard of Lord of the Rings before, but luckily his son Russell had read the book The Hobbit, so he knew exactly what it was. He quietly told his father, "Dad, just say yes, just say yes." And, well, the rest is history. If you look out to the right-hand side of the bus, you get your first glimpse of the permanent movie set we'll be walking around today. You have just seen the mill house, the double-arched stone bridge, followed by the world-famous Green Dragon Inn, the local pub for Hobbiton. And part of our tour today is to go to that pub and have a drink, which is quite exciting for you all. There are 3 drinks that are brewed specially for Hobbiton with alcohol, and then there's one brewed without alcohol, so something for everyone. On our right hand side, behind this hedge, is an area once known as the Technical Car Park. It's where all of the technical equipment was stored for the making of the movies. And it's where the original Hobbit holes were constructed before being carried down to the set. Today it's home to our maintenance team, gardeners, landscapers, art department and set decorators. Just to name a few of the people who make our movie set look beautiful, all a thin strip of grass between the road and the boundary fence. This was known as Animal Kingdom because there were 29 different species of animals that were kept here, and they were the animals that featured in the Hobbiton scenes of the films. None of our sheep made it into the film though, unfortunately. Our sheep are the New Zealand Romney breed, and they're too modern looking, so they don't feature in the film. On our left hand side you can see some Angus cattle. We have 400 of those. They also don't feature in the film, but the field that they are grazing in, that field is famous because it's where all of the actors applied makeup, put on costumes and prosthetics. It was known as Base Camp, and there was a large food marquee at the centre of Base Camp that was capable of feeding all 400 people working on the set. They were served a 2-course breakfast and lunch, followed by a 3-course dinner with unlimited supplies of gourmet snack food. And they had a coffee trailer too. So, safe to say, the Hobbits, they had all the food they required to look short, round, and perfect for the movie. If you look out to the left-hand side, you can see some pine trees growing on the hill. It's between those trees that the next scene about to play was filmed. It's when Frodo first meets Gandalf in the Fellowship of the Ring, and if you know the words, feel free to mouth along.
A wizard is never late, James. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
So everyone, you can follow me now off the bus. We'll gather by the Hobbiton sign and I'll go through some health and safety rules with you before we continue. Please take all your belongings with you off the bus and don't leave anything behind. So check that you've got your phones, your wallets, your bags. Through the gate on the left there is a toilet, and on the right there is a rubbish bin. You're welcome to dispose of your waste there. Please don't leave that on the bus. So thanks to Rebecca, our driver, and meet me outside.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, enjoy your tour.
Thank you.
Alright, so welcome once again to Hobbiton. I'll be your tour guide Jacob today, and as we go through the movie sets there are a few rules to know and to follow. First, most important, try and stick to the footpath and stay off the grass as much as you can. You're allowed to stand on this grass, that's okay, but as soon as we go through the gate, we are officially entering Hobbiton, so try and follow that rule from the moment you go through the gate. Treat the movie set like it's a museum. So if you see any areas today that are roped off or fenced off, please don't cross those ropes or fences and leave all the gates and doors closed. There will be one house that you can all go inside today, so don't worry, you will get an opportunity to have a photo inside a house. And I can be your personal photographer, so if you want a group photo or a family photo, just see me, I'm more than happy to help. This is a nerd-friendly environment, so don't be afraid to geek out. Have fun. Ask any questions you have about Lord of the Rings. I'm a Lord of the Rings nerd. As I said, this is a friendly environment for nerds, so ask me all your questions. I won't be afraid to answer and sound like a nerd. That's part of my job. And I not only love Lord of the Rings, but Star Wars, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Marvel, you name it. So if you don't want to talk Lord of the Rings, well, let's talk Star Wars or Harry Potter instead. That'll be fun. I'm more than happy to indulge you today with those questions. And yeah, just make sure you enjoy yourselves today. If there's anything I can do to make your experience better, just let me know, and I will do that. I'll try my best. 3 more things to note. Firstly, no tripods are allowed on the movie set, like no big, tall camera tripods. No drone photography is allowed, and no smoking or vaping is allowed on the movie set either. So if you do want to smoke, there is one designated spot at the Green Dragon pub, but that's at the end of our tour. So I hope you can wait until the end, and I'll show you where the designated area is located. Sound good?
I'm good.
All right.
The green on the door.
What was that? The green door. We'll get to see all the houses today, including the green door, Bilbo and Frodo's house. Is everyone excited? Alrighty, everyone, come on down the path. Alrighty, so you're welcome to come in, spread out, grab some photos, and then meet me in 5 minutes here at the bottom of the hill. You can stand in the shade, and I will go through a short introduction with you before we continue. What? I'll just give you a short introduction to the village. So, first things first, welcome to Hobbiton! Woohoo! You made it!
Ooh.
So we have 44 permanent houses here, and they're built to last for 50 years. The set was first constructed in 2009 for The Hobbit, and then they filmed here in October 2011. So there were over 2 years of building, constructing for everything you see here. The plantings were started back in 2008 as well. So the trees, the plants, they had plenty of time to grow before they first shot a scene here in October 2011. All of the houses were built specifically to look unique in their own different ways. So different colours, different shapes and sizes. For example, these two houses here, they are built to 60% of the average human size, or Hobbit size. Hobbits are between 3'6" and 4 foot tall, or 1 metre, 1.2 metres on average. So we also have large-scale houses, like this one, which are built to 90% of human scale, and Bag End at the top of the hill with the green door, that is built to full scale, full human size. So if you were an actor playing a Hobbit in the movie, you would film all your scenes next to one of these large-scale doors. Because the actors who played Hobbits in the film, they weren't actually 1 metre tall. They were the average human size. So to look small, they had to film next to the large doors. Now to make Gandalf look really, really tall, much taller than the Hobbit actors, he would film next to one of these small-scale doors, the 60% doors. And in comparison, he towers above it. So that's forced perspective. It's a film technique which was created for these films and used throughout by Peter Jackson. And we also see an example of forced perspective in a scene that was shot right here. That gap in the hillside that we walked through just 5 minutes ago, that features in the first Lord of the Rings film, in the Fellowship of the Ring. Frodo and Gandalf, they come riding into the village down this pathway on their horse-drawn cart. Elijah Wood, Frodo, he was actually seated 3 meters behind Gandalf on that cart. So they were never seated next to each other. But the camera angles and forced perspective made it look like they were. So it was movie magic. And this gap in the hill also features 2 more times in the films. If you've seen Return of the King, you may remember the moment at the end of the film when the Hobbits of the Fellowship are returning to Hobbiton. We see Frodo, Sam, Pippin and Merry ride into Hobbiton on ponies down this path here. And then finally, in An Unexpected Journey, the first Hobbit film, we see Bilbo, played by Martin Freeman, run down the hill from his home, Bag End, the green door again. He's waving a contract which he has just signed in the air. He's agreed to be Thorin's burglar. He is seen jumping over the fence between the hedge at the end of the vegetable garden. Then he jumps over a pumpkin which a hobbit is carrying in a wheelbarrow, right in the centre of the garden. He makes his way onto this path we're currently standing on, and he meets Mr. Worrywart. Mr. Worrywart says, "Hey, Mr. Bilbo, where are you off to?" "Can't stop, I'm already late," says Bilbo. "Late for what?" And then Bilbo shouts a 5-word sentence as he leaves Hobbiton. Can anyone tell me what those 5 words were?
I'm going on an adventure.
Exactly, that's right. Good job, mate. "I'm going on an adventure." And he runs to catch up with Gandalf, Balin, Dwalin, Fili, Kili, Biffa, Bofa, Bomba, Dori, Nori, Ori, Oin, Gloin, and Thorin. The 13 hobbits. It's a big group in the Hobbit. Much bigger than the 11 of the Fellowship. But, alright everyone, 7 of the Fellowship, right? Alright, we're going up the hill, and then around the corner to the left to see the next part of our movie set. Everything you'll see today is some of the vegetables that we're playing are based on this.
Ich glaube, ich weiß nicht, von oben sieht man den besser, der Baum, von dem das Festfeld steht. Ich glaube, das ist das Drehbuch.
Jadi tulungan mo ako.
Abdel, look. Còn có một tránh con không phải.
Jeg vil gerne lige se Louise på vores her.
Det er det også. Hun har vel også set.
Lots of bees already.
Las Vegas. There we go, Nevada, right next door. About you guys? Czechia? Oh, and Slovakia.
China.
So, ahoy! And where else have we got? New South Wales?
Yes.
Wonderful. Very cool. Just saw it on your shirt, so I guess. NSW.
Yes.
Cool, cool. From Australia.
Canada.
Canada, wonderful.
China.
Yeah. Which province in Canada?
Toronto.
Oh, okay, so Ontario.
Yeah, Ontario.
Cool. China? Anyone? Yep. So Taiwan, China.
They're with me.
Oh, this was the team from Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Wonderful. Have I missed anyone? Alrighty. Alright, so the area we've just walked around had a beekeeper, there is a gardener, and also the town beer brewer. They live at the back of the village with a hammock, an overgrown garden, and a beer barrel. But we also like to call them the town drunk, because they're always drinking too much and they can't do their gardening. They're always intoxicated. So that's why the garden is overgrown. So the movie set is trying to be as authentic to the books as possible, because, well, the village of Hobbiton was described as being an old English village, or an ideal version of England. England before the Industrial Revolution, basically. So we've tried to stick to that theme, and that's why most of the plants that you see here, they're not from New Zealand. The majority is from England, so different English varieties of flowers and vegetables and plants, things that you'd expect to find in an English garden. But there are a few New Zealand native reeds, and they are out of place. They're not staying within the theme, but we've allowed them to grow here because they are native, and we'd prefer not to remove them if we don't have to. So just don't pay attention to the native New Zealand stuff. Look at all the British stuff instead. And Peter Jackson was not only the director, but the screenwriter and producer of the films. So he had a lot of involvement in the creation of movie sets. And he took a lot of moments from the books and put them straight into the film. So one moment I want to bring to your attention is from the final chapter of the Return of the King book. It mentions hobbits sitting underneath plum trees, making pyramids out of the plum stones. So, to be authentic to the books, Peter Jackson planted plum trees on the movie set. And we even planted apple, pear and quince trees in the orchard just across this pond here. So that fruit tree orchard belongs to the Sackville-Baggins family. They live in the yellow door just there, over the opposite side of the garden. And the Sackville-Baggins family are Bilbo Baggins's nasty relatives. They're his cousins, but he doesn't like his cousins because they want Bilbo to hand over his inheritance to Bag End. They want to be living at the top of the village. But Bilbo, he just refuses to die. He lives until he's 130. So one of the oldest living hobbits ever. And the Sackville-Bagginses, they don't like Bilbo. Bilbo doesn't like them. But what the Sackville-Baggins family do like is brewing beer and cider. So that's why we have apple trees and pear trees planted over there. That's where they make their drink. You'll also notice we have washing lines spread all around the village. Peter Jackson paid for people at the time of filming to hang the laundry up in the morning and then take it down at the end of every single day, because he wanted their footprints to leave natural paths in the grass as they climbed up and down the hills. And that makes the village feel real and authentic. Also, you'll probably see some smoking chimneys today. That is real smoke. It's created by burning Manuka wood chips inside a modified fish smoker. So you fill the smoker with the wood chips and then light them on fire. And it's quite a simple thing to do, but it adds a lot of ambiance to the movie set and makes it look like there are actually hobbits inside making a fire and then cooking some food over it or something like that. So it's all about authenticity here on the movie set. So we'll climb up the hill and make our way towards Bag End, the home of Bilbo and Frodo Baggins. Just before we get there, there is a house you can go get a photo inside of. And if you want me to help with those photos, I'm more than happy to help. Should mention it is just an exterior hobbit hole, so there isn't much to see inside the house. But if you stand in the doorway and peek your head out, then you can get a really nice picture there. And later we will get to go into a proper interior that's fully decorated and furnished. So we've still got that to look forward to as well. So follow me.
Hobbiton tour செய்து கொண்டிருக்கேன். டூரில் மோஸ்ட்லி இங்கிலீஷில் சொல்லி கொண்டிருக்கேன். அதை நான் பேருந்து உங்களுக்கு தமிழில் சொல்கிறேன். இப்போ நாங்கள் மேலே போய் கொண்டிருக்கோம் மெயின் ஏரியாவுக்கு. இந்த பாதை ஃபுல்லாக ஹாபிட் அப்படி இருந்ததுன்றதை பிரதிபலிக்கும் முதல்ல அதே மாதிரி தான் செய்திருக்கேன். இங்கிலாண்டில் இருந்து கொண்டாந்த ரீஸ் தான் இது ஃபுல்லாக இருக்குது.
One, two, three.
You want to what?
还好。
It's open
Hello. This.
Yeah, this is, yeah. I'll take it.
Go, go, go.
Yeah.
You can see the main reasons why the Alexander farm was chosen to be Hobbiton. We have three main reasons that are seen from this spot. We have firstly a big round symmetrical pine tree at the centre of the property. That today is known as the party tree. It's a tree referenced in the books that was very important for the existence of the movie set. Then we have a large body of water, this lake. That stands in for the river that flows through Hobbiton, which is called the Water. And finally we have rolling green countryside with no visible 20th century clutter. That means no power lines, no roads, houses, buildings, or anything that looks out of the ordinary. So that's what made this place so unique and so special. So the only thing they needed to do was to build the Hobbit holes. So they built 39 Hobbit holes for the Lord of the Rings set. But they didn't know how popular Lord of the Rings was going to be back in 1998 when they first found this place. So they decided only to build the set temporary. They did a temporary version of Hobbiton. They filmed here over 3 months, starting in December 1999 and finishing in February 2000. And then they dismantled the movie set. They had no idea that it would be a popular attraction. So it wasn't until The Lord of the Rings came out, and they were some of the most successful films of all time, that Peter Jackson realised he has to come back again. He has to make a sequel, which is actually a prequel trilogy to The Lord of the Rings, that is The Hobbit. So he returned in 2009, asked the Alexander family if they wanted to go in a business partnership. Of course they said yes. And then they opened the recreated version of Hobbiton called The Hobbit Movies, and the filming was done here in October 2011. And then the day after they finished filming, which was Halloween of 2011, then they opened this place up for tours again, and it's been running ever since around this permanent movie set. So this is the second incarnation of Hobbiton that we're walking around today. And all the houses are built in the exact same place as the original 39. The only difference is they built 5 extra houses the second time round. And they were the 5 houses that we've just walked past. So we'll now go to Bag End, which is the home of the main characters, Bilbo and Frodo. So head on down, you can grab some pictures there, and I'll tell you some stories about the house. You good? You good?
Cokit na sumagot na. Cokit na sumagot na.
This is the home of Bilbo and Frodo in the films, and it's the largest exterior house on the set. So 42 of the 44 are exteriors, and then the remaining 2 are now interiors that were completed on the 1st of December this year. So only 26 days ago they opened officially, and that will be the next part of our tour that we see after this. They're down the hill. But this one is still very impressive. It's just an exterior, but it's the biggest. The windows go 180 degrees around the hillside, and it goes back 3 meters. And for those 3 meters on the interior, it is actually decorated with wallpaper. There are tiles on the ground. There is table and chairs and a stack of books on the table as well. So it does create a very good illusion that Bag End is located behind this house. But the real Bag End was actually built in Wellington in a studio called Stone Street Studios, and they had 2 different scale versions. They had a large scale for the hobbits and dwarves, and then a small scale for dwarves. So that's why Ian McKellen hits his head on the ceiling in the movie, because he wasn't used to filming in a house that was 60% of his scale. So that actually was not on purpose, but he hits his head.
No, you must wear it. It's Ato, San, Danny.
And you understand his
Spider-Man.
when we go into the interior hobbit holes later, because they're built to 83% scale, and if you're my height or taller, you definitely might hit your head inside that house. Ian McKellen actually never filmed here at this version of Bag End because it's a full-scale house. Ian McKellen would look like a hobbit if he filmed here. So they used scale body doubles. They brought in a man who was 7'1", or 2.14 meters tall, and they dressed him in Gandalf's costume, the cloak, the grey beard, the hat, the staff, and it's him that knocks on the door in the movie, not Ian McKellen, by the way. So it was a body double. Now the tree on top of Bag End, that is not a real tree. It might look like it, but it's actually made of steel, silicone, expanding foam, and it has over 300,000 artificial leaves that were created in Taiwan out of silk and plastic. And this tree up here was designed to look 60 years smaller than the Hobbit, than the Lord of the Rings tree, because the Hobbit is a prequel to the Lord of the Rings. It's set 60 years before, so they basically had to shrink the tree down. And that's why we have a fake tree. So you can grab your photos here at Bag End. I'm going to pop back around to join you, and once we're all together as a group, we're heading down the hill towards the interior Hobbit hole. So if you want to see an interior, get your pictures done here and make your way down the hill. I'll see you there.
Yeah, didn't the dragon later ones?
Thấy không? Tại sao vậy học?
Ay, Daddy, yung bag ko, nandun na hawak niya.
Ha?
Yung bag ko, hawak niya.
Okay, let's go.
Tignan mo na yung dalang bata. Sige, nang hawak naman niya. Go, go!
1, 2, 3, go.
Tadi. Ano ko lang?
Yeah.
You want to picture there, no?
The fire in the fireplace is real
Tadi.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, so just if you visit the interior houses. So this field actually used to be a swamp before the original Hobbit holes were constructed. So that meant when they were building the original Hobbit holes, all of the leftover soil had to be brought here, and then they built the ground up by 2 to 3 meters with all that soil. So 24 years ago you would have been standing in a swamp. But now luckily it's this beautiful green field, and it's the place where Bilbo filmed his party. It's where he invited 144 guests to celebrate with him. And to find those guests, Peter Jackson did a casting call in the local town of Matamata, just a 10-minute drive from here at Hobbiton. So if you were a local at the time back in 1999 and you heard that they were doing a casting call for a Hobbit, well, to fit the queue for a Hobbit you had to be short, round and curly-haired, probably naturally hairy feet would be great as well. You got to come dressed in costume, drink alcohol, dance, party and get paid for it. So it would have been a lot of fun. So they shot those scenes over 3 nights and 4 days. Probably the most iconic scene is either Bilbo standing under the tree saying, "My dear Bagginses and Boffins, Tooks and Brandybucks, Grubs, Chubs, Hornblowers, Bulgers, Bracegirdles and Proudfoots." And then Mr. Proudfoot says, "Proud feet." So there's that scene, and also when Pippin and Merry are playing with that dragon firework and they accidentally ignite the firework. And the tent that the firework was inside was actually connected to one of the branches on the tree, and it had a pulley system with rope, and someone heaved on that rope, sending the tent flying into the air when they shot that scene. So that meant the firework didn't need to be real because everything else was done with practical effects. To create the firework, they actually had the Alexander family tractor with posts attached to the forks of the tractor, and then it drove straight across the field in that direction, chasing the group of hobbits towards the Green Dragon Inn. And then they superimposed the dragon firework onto the tractor in the movie. So it wasn't a real dragon firework, unfortunately, it was the tractor of the farmers. But quite cool how they shot that scene. So, who wants to go inside a house? Alright, we can get a nice break from the hot sun. So we'll go through the gate, past the carpenter's house and Samwise Gamgee's house, and then we'll gather in front of the green door over there. Stand led to the yellow. So Sam, what's in that yellow house there? Holding a 6-month-old baby girl in her arms. That was her real 6-month-old daughter, Maisie McLeod. So both Sean and Sarah got to spend that special moment with their real life children. So no acting was required. It was a genuine family moment caught on film. And they filmed that scene by the yellow door 24 years ago, December, January 2000, the year 2000. So yeah, practically 24 years ago now. So hopefully that makes you feel old. Now, the green and red doors are our interior hobbit holes. These are the houses you can go inside today. And each house, whether you go in the red or the green, is a parallel experience to the other. So they're not different, they are the same on the inside. But because we're a group of 41, I do have to split us in half because there's a maximum people limit of 25 in each house. So I will take roughly 20 in with me, and 20 will go in the red door. Touch and interact with all the features of the house. That means you can sit on the sofa, you can lie on the bed if you want, but please no dirty footwear on any of the furniture. So if you are lying on the bed, just keep your feet off the end, and that's okay because they're hobbit-sized beds. So unless you're a child, an actual hobbit, then your feet will be hanging over the edge anyway, so that's okay. So you're welcome to do that. Touch and play with what you find inside the house. A lot of it can be moved and played with. There's a newspaper you can flip through the pages of, and there are books that you can read. So it's pretty authentic. It's designed to feature some things you may remember from the movies as well. And it was created by two conceptual artists, John Howe and Alan Lee. They actually designed the Hobbiton movie set back in 1999. So they set up on the hill at Bag End with their sketchbook. They drew out the village, and then Peter Jackson and his team built the village from those sketches. So we decided to bring those men back and pay them to design the interiors of these hobbit holes for us. So it's very cool what you see inside. It's just like a hobbit hole from the movies. And the narratives for the families that live in these houses, they were created by none other than Sir Peter Jackson, his partner Fran Walsh, and Philippa Boyens. They were the screenwriters for the films. So we brought them back as well to design some stories about the families here. You've got the 2-foot family living in the red door, and the Proudfoot family living here in the green door. I've already mentioned the Proudfoot family. Proud feet. They live here in the green door, so if you come with me, my 20, you'll see the Proudfoot house. They like to brew their own alcohol, so you'll see lots of cider and ale on the inside. But the 2-foot family, they design wicker baskets, so that's why you see all of these baskets out the front here. Now, we are going to meet together once more in 15 minutes on the opposite side, so we're not coming back out this way. That means if you have a stroller or one of these prams here, you have to take them in with you. We're not coming back out, so you'll take them inside. If you come, where's the other pram, the other stroller?
It's at the end.
So do you want to come over with me? Alright, so we're going into the Proudfoot house.
Follow me on through and I'll introduce you to the family when we get to the
bathroom first. And then see the kitchen and dining.
I don't know that you're going to get in there, but that's going to be entertaining. this is perfect.
So we've got the children's bedroom, is where grandmother lives.
Family tree.
Yes, it's very warm. That was fun. So, now if anyone wants to start heading through, I've opened up our kitchen, our dining room and our pantry. So you can... Alright, so if you'd like to head on through into the kitchen. Lovely. So, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, 3, 2, 1. Fabulous. Thank you. Alrighty, folks, heading through into the kitchen. Yeah, okay. Alrighty, folks, taking last photos. Heading 3, 2, 1. Through, guys. Beautiful. All the way through to the kitchen. So we'll start heading through, guys. Got a left photo.
It goes anywhere.
Alrighty. Heading up through.
Where?
Alina.
How
而且有些塞场，而且真很。
对，就这样啊，行，摆动作，摆动作，摆什么动作呀？
我想要一张这里的照片。
好，
我可以。开哪摄影机？
Alrighty, folks, if you'd like to head through this way, or head up and join with the second half of our group. Alrighty, guys, heading on through.
Thank you.
走了，出去了。
有伞了，这里有伞了。然后给带着走。
都是他的啊，你到那个
很热
还给他
了，
呀。那这样还给他。
At 2:50 p.m. Meet me by the willow tree and those lanterns at 2:50.
9点半呢，但是回去就3点了，3点多了，1个半小时下班。
Look, take a video of that.
So what's the meaning of the
Look there.
There's no meaning behind the colours of the doors. Sometimes they would mean the full job of it. But if they're evil, they'd be a garden. It's a blue door, though. Yeah, but over time, the doors Oh, yeah, because when they build their Hobbit holes, they build them in a hill, and usually the hills are very round. So they decided to make a round door for the round hill. And it looks very symmetrical. It's very nice. Yeah. So they have a rectangular door
I don't know.
2,500 people today.
2,500.
Yeah. 2,500. Maybe 800.
800.
Yeah. Not as busy in the winter, but also it's not as beautiful in the winter.
Especially in the Sunday, more people.
Yeah, more people on the weekend.
The roster capacity.
Yeah, maximum capacity. Possibly 2,800. Yeah. We think maybe after New Year's we might reach that. Yeah. What's it a bit?
Toilet is there.
Yep, toilet. Yep, toilet inside to the left.
Look at that.
Yes, it was in the movie.
Okay, thank you.
உங்களுக்கு என்ன?
Thank you.
What time are we leaving?
இந்த ஹாபிடன் சைடு மேக்ஸிமம் கெப்பாசிட்டி 2800 சொல்லி கைட் சொன்னவன் 2500 இன்றைக்கு தேவையான நேரம் தான் நான் ரிலீஸ் பண்ணுவேன் வேறு கெப்பாசிட்டி இதுதான் ஹாபிடன்.
Look at me and say cheese. Next, look at me. Look at me. All right, come on.
on, let's go. I got your picture. Come on.
Hello, Mr. Yu. Yeah, Colin. Oh, that's what it is. I was eating. I'm gonna move. If you go.
We're gonna stay in the show.
A good try. Papa, can I come on this over?
அதில் கேட்டிருக்கேன் நான். இப்போ நாங்கள் டூர் முடிஞ்சு போய் கொண்டிருக்கோம். ஹாபிட்டன் டூரை முடிச்சுட்டு போய்கொண்டு இருக்கிறோம். இது வேற வெஜிடபிள். Vegetable.
Yeah. This side is the food and this side is the vegetable. And this side is the food and this side is
Yeah, capsicum.
And this side, huh?
Capsicum. Capsicum. You are grapes.
Yes.
அடுத்த குரூப் வந்துட்டுது. See you, man. See you.
Papa, this time can I sit in the back seat?
Well, I'll do it. Don't worry. You're gonna. I pump this off.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you.
ഇത് ലൈവ്
Thank you.